Hey, today I'm going to try to show you a few more ideas, tricks about pitching. Again, I'm John Harris. This is smallballsuccess.com, for which I'm doing this video. Visit the site. I think you'll find some interesting writing, some links to some great videos, especially about hitting. I don't do pitching that much, and I always warn everybody, I'm not a pitcher. I've never been a pitcher. I don't pretend to be a pitching coach, but I do know what it's like to be 5'9", which most pitching coaches do not know. And I know what it's like to have that broad body type. And I think that guys that are made like us, maybe we don't need to be trying to pitch like the guys who are thin and tall, 6'5". There may be a special way that we can pitch. And lately I've been thinking about how pitchers of yesteryear, say before World War II, used to throw. This was my inroad into hitting from way back when, in the dead ball era. I went back and researched how hitters used to approach 400 and practically never strike out. Well, I'm trying to do the same thing for pitching. And just to review, because I've talked about this in other videos, but these are 4 things that I use to identify in old newsreels or even in old baseball cards somebody who might be throwing in this low overhand way that interests me so much and that we really don't do today much at all. So you got 4 limbs, right? 2 arms and 2 legs. First of all, because we're trying to throw pretty much in the same plane. We're trying to get everything moving in the same plane. So first of all, I'm going to look for a foot, a leg that is coming open. You know, the pitching coaches today say go straight toward the plate. It's kind of hard to find anyone nowadays who steps open because the coaches are going to get on that right away. They say don't do that. Well, you can find lots of guys before World War II or right after who were doing that very thing. And if they're going to step open, they're probably going, because it's only natural, you know, they're going to follow that energy flow with their forward arm going open too, as opposed to kind of closing the glove on their shoulder. So open with the arm. When you see that arm open up, that's a giveaway. Of course, obviously, the throwing hand is going to come at a low angle. So, and that's not something that you see very much. Typically, guys who are writing about this at the time will say that it's overhand, and it is overhand. It's not sidearm, but it could be very low overhand. I call this about 930. And some of them are going to throw sidearm, too. We'll say more about that in a minute. And then maybe the follow-through will, if there's all that much energy going off to the side, you may see this back foot kind of dancing up in the air to the side like that. Now, I got myself a list here, and I'm going to go through this real quickly. I don't want to bore you, but Wade Hoyd, Willie Sherdell, Jack Bentley, Pete Alexander, that's Grover Cleveland Alexander, Dazzy Vance, George Yule, Rube Wahlberg. Gosh, I don't have time to read all these guys. Maybe Robin Roberts, Eddie Lopat, Preacher Rowe, Mel Harder, Ted Lyons, Max Lanier, Johnny Sane, maybe. There's some pretty big names. If you guys follow baseball history at all, there's some names there that you're going to recognize. Some of those guys are even going up into the 50s. But I think it was very typical for pitchers of yesteryear to throw from this lower angle and to open up. This is why they're, as it were, falling off to the side, because this is how they're delivering the ball. Why would you go straight to the plate and then, because your energy's kind of north and south, and then you're coming east and west with the ball here. Wouldn't you want everything to be going from side to side to get the most energy into the pitch? Now, I said I was going to say a word about sidearm. Just a couple of things here. It seems to me, this is what I'm hopefully going to work on a little more, actually try to do some demonstrations about when I'm feeling a little better, and Humpty Dumpty has got his pieces back together. Right now I'm just talking, I'm not demonstrating, but it really does seem to me that you could use a sidearm or even a submarine delivery out of the same basic motion. And I've talked about this before too, but I just don't think this gets discussed enough. Look at this. So I'm going to start like this. And by the way, I'm not going to do the big leg pump this time. I'm just going to start easy and lift the leg straight up. I've decided I kind of think I like that better. So drop, and as long as I get this arm out, then I'm going to keep my head down. I'm not going to arch my back, and I'm going to come through with the ball. Okay, that's my 9 o'clock delivery. Now watch this. So now I'm more sidearm. It was the easiest thing in the world just to drop down a few degrees more, and I can maybe even go into submarine there. I don't know why I couldn't. Just, swing the left leg here and then sort of kick toward home plate. I said earlier in a previous video, I don't really like the kick when I'm throwing at 930 or even at sidearm. Again, the kick, you're talking about north-south motion. You're going straight to the plate, but you're releasing the ball here. But if you're going to try to go for a real low release, then you might want something to drive your energy right to the plate. And maybe that kick works. I was looking at Lucas Sims. He's on the Reds at the moment, although that game that he was in last night was their last one of the 2020 season. They're going home now, but he really interested me because he has that kick to the plate that so many submariners have, but he has a delivery that's more like low overhand. And I would think those two would kind of not work too well together. I would like to, if I'm going to have that kick, I would like to come down lower and follow the kick in approximately the same plane going to the plate. But anyway, so why not try throwing, why not try various deliveries? You don't have to be just 930 or have to be sidearm. You can do different things out of the same basic windup. It's confusing to the hitter. It's really like having another pitch if you come from a different angle. I've heard pitching coaches say, "Oh, that's just going to confuse the pitcher. He's got to learn to throw everything out of the same slot, or he's going to get all messed up." With respect, I think that's just bunk. I don't see why a little practice wouldn't. Old timers used to throw out of different arm angles. Tell Satchel Paige you can't throw out of different arm angles. What a joke. Now, last thing I'm going to say, speaking of Satchel Paige, the one thing I like about lifting up my knee like that and then coming with that low overhand delivery, the one thing I really like about that is that I can do the hesitation pitch. And guys like Johnny Cueto have been doing that for years now. More and more pitchers are starting to bring that back in. That's good. It's not another pitch, but it might as well be. It's something that throws the hitter's timing off, and that's the name of the game. If you could do this and then come home, you could do some kind of hesitation like that. Now it's a lot easier to do it when you lift the knee up than once you do that. It's a lot harder to throw in that really upsetting hesitation. But hey, this is all the different arm slots, the hesitation, everything. It's part of the head game. It's part of getting in the head of the hitter. You can do this as a pitcher and have so much success at it, and you don't have to worry about finding another 10 miles an hour of velocity. It's all about getting guys out, isn't it?